Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the SH Figuarts Star Wars Attack of the Clones movie Obi-Wan Kenobi figure review. Let's do it.
Ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about you.
And taking a quick look at one of the side panels, you can see it says Star Wars up at the top, Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan Kenobi, SH Figuarts, some other small print I can't read, the Disney logo. And there's a look at the opposite side, it says Star Wars again, SH Figuarts again, Obi-Wan Kenobi, some Japanese, some other fine print. This is standard packaging for SH Figuarts Star Wars figures. Taking a look at Obi-Wan Kenobi, aka typically depicted white Jesus, out of the package, and I have to say that this figure is a bit disappointing. And not really in terms of the mechanics or the articulation or the paint or anything like that, it's just that they were not able to nail the likeness of Ewan McGregor here. So this is our second Obi-Wan Kenobi figure from SH Figuarts. I'm sure it won't be our last. I'm sure at some point they will give us an old man Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. But the first version was the version from episode 1 where he was beardless and with the shorter hair and when he was still under the tutelage of Qui-Gon Jinn. And I think they did a really good job with the first release of Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I feel like this is the version that most people were really anticipating. I gotta admit that it took me a long time to even open this figure. I've had it since it released, and I saw other people put up reviews for the figure, and I was not gonna open it. I was just gonna sell the figure, but I said, you know what, let me crack this baby open and just do a review. So here we are. Let's get into his accessories. So straight out of the package, he comes with a set of fisted hands, and then he also comes with a set of semi-open hands, and these hands can actually hold his saber. So I might as well go ahead and look at the saber, and you can see he can hold that in his right hand with no problem. It's a pretty firm grip, not too tight, and no issue with him holding it with the left hand either. And taking a quick look at the saber, like I said, it's sort of a bluish, purplish hue, and it's a typical lightsaber as far as the handle is concerned. You can see some black and some little silver trim in there, and a little red button there for igniting the saber. And right here at the tip, this part will actually come apart, so you can slide it into his fisted hands, which I'll get into in a second. And then there's also this unignited saber, which is pretty much the same, just without the blade on it. That can hook on his belt, which you already saw, and that'll just tab in right there on the belt. But getting back into the interchangeable hands, he also comes with a set that are open with the fingers spread. It's the rock, you bastards. And he's got a set of hands that are fisted with holes through the middle, and obviously these can be used for holding either one of the sabers as well. And it should be noted that the two sets of hands that are used for holding the sabers, the peg hole is a little off center, so you got to be careful. And the pegs on the wrists are very small, so you got to be double careful. And like I mentioned, you want to remove the very end of the handle, the butt end of the handle, off of the saber, so you can slide that through his hand, and then you want to put that back on. You can hold that with no problem. It is kind of loose unless you find a little sweet spot towards the bottom or the top of the handle, but I wouldn't want it to be too tight. And there it is in the left hand, and that looks fine. And then these are the last set of hands. He's got a right hand that is sort of semi-open, and I would assume that this is sort of like the force push hand. I mean, I guess this one can kind of be used for some type of force power as well. Or instant transmission or something like that. But these are definitely essential to a Jedi character and for when you're doing some displays and taking pictures and stuff like that. So, they can also be used for different comical things. Obviously, that looks like a peace sign as well. And his last accessory is an interchangeable head. So let's take a look at the one that comes on him straight out of the package first. And this is the major problem. Like I said, I don't really have too many gripes with the figure overall. I'll get into the articulation and everything in a moment. But the major problem with this figure is that the likeness is totally off. It looks awful. I really don't like the way they did this. It just looks like some random dude with a beard. It doesn't work. And one thing that I really, really dislike about Figuarts is that they keep putting these gold highlights in the hair of all of these white men that supposedly have blonde hair or brown hair. It doesn't matter. They just put these gold highlights in the hair, and it looks ridiculous. Stop the madness, Figuarts. And here's a quick look at the neck peg so you can see how the head detaches. And there's the additional head, which doesn't look like Ewan McGregor either. So, that doesn't, it's not that the face looks bad. If it was some random Jedi in the background, then cool. But it's supposed to be one of the stars, the main character in the movie. And if you're going to do a movie figure, and you're going to have a movie figure that is not a masked figure, and you're going to see his face, then his face is everything. That is what you need to sell the figure, is the likeness. And they did not do that here. They just screwed it up. And there's the two side by side. So you can see this one looks like it's a little more angry, a little more menacing. This face looks a little more docile. But again, the likeness is not there, and that kind of ruined the figure. You can see it's a ball peg here, so the head is supposed to be able to move independently of the neck once you get it on there, but because of the hair, it's not going to really move back. The neck can kind of move independently of the head just a little bit, so you'll get them to look down a decent amount, but it won't really look back too far. You'll get left and right. It'll do a full 360. It can pivot a little bit. So the head and neck articulation is fair. And the shoulder's on a ball joint that will actually have somewhat of a butterfly joint in there as well. It'll rotate on that joint. You'll also get some independent rotation at the upper bicep right here at this cut. You'll get a single jointed elbow. Just a little bit more than 90 degrees actually, but the way they make this as far as the sleeve and everything goes, it's not gonna go up as far as I would like it. You do get a hinge on the wrist. Obviously that works, especially when it comes to wielding a lightsaber, and you'll get a swivel as well. It'll be the same thing on both sides as far as the arms go. Not the best torso articulation. You'll get somewhat of an ab crunch. It'll go back that far, go down just about that far. It will turn left and right. This belt is an independent piece, so it's not hindering the articulation too much. And the legs will get up pretty far, as this is a soft material, so it's not really hindering the legs too much. You'll get a double jointed knee. Do you get rotation there? No rotation at the upper boot, but you will get a hinge on the foot that will hinge just a bit, and you'll get an ankle pivot and a toe joint. The legs will split out just about that much, and you can see those double ball pegs there at the pelvis, and that's pretty much it for articulation. Not the greatest, not the worst. Just a real quick comparison between the young Obi-Wan and the middle-aged Obi-Wan. You can see the young Obi-Wan's head can move with no problem. It can move up, so I'm really not liking how you can't move the head up on the older guy. And looking at the deco, you can see it's just kind of reversed. The old Obi has the darker pants with the lighter top, and the older middle-aged Obi has the darker top with the lighter pants, and the boots are a little darker on the newer version. So about the same size too, but definitely the first offering is pretty much better than this new one. So a huge disappointment, not only because I wanted this to be a great standalone figure, but I wanted to pair him up with Anakin, which is going to be coming out soon. That was a web shop exclusive. I had to pay ahead of time for that figure, and I had to pay quite a bit of money for him in order to get the version with the regular face and the angry face. And I was really anticipating taking some great pictures and doing some great displays with the two of them. But being that this guy's face didn't come out so great, I'm not really excited about ever breaking out this figure again. So yeah, wouldn't really recommend it. And until next time, peace.
That's crisp.